Hey, so in this video I'll be going in detail about the manga that have reached at least 100 million sales worldwide, from the least to the most sales, and my predictions for series that might be there in the future. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's start with the series that already have at least 100 million sales. There are 23 of them, with 2 ties, one of which is a huge one. I'll be basing this off Wikipedia. So, in 23rd place, there is the big tie. It's an 8-way tie. I mean, it does make sense because they would want to publicly announce a huge milestone like that, the 100 million sales milestone, and they would try to announce it as soon as it happens. It's a tie between Touch, My Hero Academia, the Kindaichi Case Files, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hajime no Ippo, Fist of the North Star, Baki, and Astro Boy. What I find interesting is that apart from My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen, all of these started in either the 1980s or 1990s, with Astro Boy starting in 1952. And on top of that, 3 of them don't even have a physical English release from whatever publisher. One was recently announced, but Hajime no Ippo and Touch don't have and probably won't have a physical English release ever. In 15th place is Kingdom, with 110 million sales. As I'm sure you know, only recently had an English physical release announcement by Viz, which everyone online went crazy over. And although I know nothing of the story apart from that it is set in ancient China, I've decided that when the first volume does finally release on November 11th of this year, I will buy it, just to see if it's worth continuing, because I've only heard overwhelmingly good things about it. Also, what I find hilarious is that they just announced the release, and they already have the first 6 volumes on pre-order, despite them only having revealed the second volume's cover art, and the first volume's release date will be in just under 4 months. Though, it does look like they listen to the public's almost worries about it having 76 volumes right now, that it might take literal decades just to catch up on a normal release schedule. They decided to release each volume 1 month apart, instead of 1 volume per season, which will, quite literally, be 4 times faster. Anyways, in 14th place is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Just to be clear, this is the entire franchise, from parts 1 to 9. It has a total of 120 million sales. I forgot to mention this, but not all the data for these were last retrieved at the exact same time. Though most of them were done in the past few years, there were 2 big exceptions. One of those being Astro Boy, whose data I couldn't see when was the last time they checked, and Touch, whose last check was a lot longer ago than the rest of these, being in November 28th of 2013. In 13th place is the first of the big 3, Bleach. It has 130 million sales, but it might right now be a lot higher because of the current amazing 1000 Year Blood War anime release and the potential future sequel, which the author hinted at a few years ago, though there hasn't been anything said since, as far as I know. In 12th place is the third and last series that I didn't recognize, Oishimbo. It's an extremely long series, with it being on hiatus for over a decade now, with a total of 135 million sales. Just outside the top 10, in 11th place, is Attack on Titan, with 140 million sales. Not going to lie, I both expected and didn't expect this to be here. Like, if series like Jujutsu Kaisen are here, then Attack on Titan would definitely have to be here. But on the other hand, an action like Attack on Titan could have a lot less sales than I would have thought. Finally, the top 10. First is a series that I found a bit funny that it was above Attack on Titan, Crayon Shinchan. I mean, even I recognize this series, but it is just a little funny that a goofy series like this has more sales than a modern giant known as Attack on Titan, with 148 million sales. In 9th place is a series that I did expect to be here, Demon Slayer. Little intermission, wouldn't you love it? This information is already a little bit outdated, but only this, because literally 5 hours after I recorded this script, Demon Slayer got updated. In this post that you see on screen now, you can see that it says it has 200 million sales, but if you check on Wikipedia, it says it has 220 million sales, which actually puts it in 7th place. So, yeah, sorry, I don't know, unlucky timing for me, I guess. But yeah, Demon Slayer would actually be 7th place, so yeah. I mean, in 2020 alone, it had more than half of the sales it has in total now, as it had 82.3 million sales in 2020. But its total sales are 150 million. knowing it had that many sales in 1 year, I did truthfully expect it to be here. And to be honest, I expected it to be a bit higher too. Though just above it, in 8th place, is Kochikame. It used to be the longest series by volumes, but there is one series, even in this list, that has yet to be revealed, that now since Kochikame has ended, overtook it, and has continued to have new volumes released. But going back to Kochikame, it has 157.2 million sales worldwide, with this one being the last series to not have an English release, as this has 201 volumes, and it is more of a comedy, and it was very popular in Japan, with it never really getting a chance to appeal to English audiences, as it was never translated, even digitally, officially, to English. Though, I do see this having the possibility of being printed in the future, as starting from 2 months ago, at the time of writing the script, it began having a weekly English anime release in North America. So maybe one day it might actually have a physical English release. In 7th place is... I wanted to say the first sports manga here, but then I saw these 3 in a row and thought, never mind. It's Slam Dunk. It has a whopping 185 million sales. For this, it finally got an English reprint somewhat recently, and I would 100% buy it, but I don't want to buy 31 individual volumes. So I just have to live on hoping Slam Dunk eventually gets a box set one day. In 6th place is Naruto. With 75 million more sales than Slam Dunk, it has a total of 250 million sales. That's fucking crazy. Just think about it. Just 6th place has 250 million sales. That obviously means that there are 250 million physical just Naruto volumes in the world. It's really crazy when you think about it. 250 million physical Naruto volumes. In 5th place is a series that I'm sure you're more than familiar with. Dragon Ball. I'm honestly surprised this isn't 1st or at least 2nd place. I mean, this was the manga that made manga popular outside Japan, and yet it's just in 5th place, knowing this was also extremely popular in Japan, with this having 260 million sales. In 4th place is a series that actually has 2 names. It's Detective Conan. If you don't know its other name, it's Case Closed. I checked and only the English release calls it that. No other language calls it Case Closed. Instead, they call it by the original name, aka Detective Conan. It has 270 million sales. In 3rd place, it's actually a tie. Yeah, if you remember, I mentioned there were 2 ties at the start. Then technically it's a tie for 2nd place. It's a tie between Doraemon and Go-Go 13. Go-Go 13 is the unrevealed series that I mentioned, talking about Kochikame, with Go-Go 13 now being the longest series volumes-wise in the world, with 217 volumes and a total of 300 million sales, alongside Doraemon. Doraemon has a really weird English release. It doesn't have an exact English release, but it does have a lot of English releases in different ways. Like there's this version, then there's the Doraemon Long Tales, and then there's the Doraemon Gadget Cat from the future. It's surprisingly a mess. But Go-Go 13 on the other hand, it had a cancelled release, with Viz only printing up to volume 13 before discontinuing printing them, which is a real shame. Here's a little interesting fact. Every manga in this list so far has either only been listed as shonen or seinen, but Doraemon is the only series that is classified differently. Its demographic is children, so take that as you will. If you really want to guess on which one is truly 2nd and 3rd place, then we can look at the last time they were both updated and if they've had any new volumes released in that time. Doraemon was last updated in October 2nd, 2024, but it ended in 1996, while Go-Go 13 was last updated in March 25th, 2021 and is still ongoing, with 17 volumes released after the last time it was recording. Basing this off Crunchyroll's announcement on July 5th, 2021, saying volume 201 released, and there being 217 volumes right now. I think it's safe to say that Go-Go 13 does have more sales than Doraemon now. And finally, in 1st place is One Piece. Of course, there was no other series that could have this title. It has 516.6 million sales. For perspective, that's more than 2 Narutos combined. And this was last updated almost 3 years ago with... Wait, I can't say spoilers. The anime popping off in the last few months. You gotta think it's a lot more now. Alright, to the other part of the video now. My predictions on series that could get to the 100 million sales mark. First, looking at the series that are already close to that milestone, there are a few that stand out to me. First of all, the most likely out of all of my predictions, Hunter x Hunter. Now that I mention it, it is actually a little bit surprising that it already isn't there, with it still being ongoing. It is all but guaranteed to get 100 million sales by the time it ends. Next is quite a similar case. Vagabond, it has also been on hiatus for years, same as Hunter x Hunter. Okay, that goes off hiatus every now and again. But Vagabond doesn't even have an anime, it is just the manga. Imagine if this had a good adaptation. Man, it would be on the same level, if not higher, than the other Takehiko Inoue's work, Slam Dunk, which is currently the 7th most sold manga of all time. What I'm trying to say is that when it finally leaves its hiatus, it would already be very likely to reach the 100 million sales milestone. But with the potential anime and a good adaptation, it could skyrocket the sales and popularity. The next one is a lot less likely than the previously mentioned already, but whatever. Next up is Gintama. This already has 73 million sales. Forgot to mention, but Hunter x Hunter has 84 million sales and Vagabond has 82 million. With a very popular and highly rated anime, which everyone loves. I mean, in my anime list, sure it isn't the best, but it gives a general idea. All of its adaptations are extremely highly rated. The lowest rating for all of these seasons is 8.46 out of 10, putting it as the 172nd best rated anime from every anime ever released. And the rest of them are the 142nd, 34th, 25th, 17th, 13th, 11th, 10th, 6th, and 5th best rated anime seasons. They have amazing ratings! The reason I'm saying all this is because the English physical print was also discontinued. The English print adapted 23 of the 77 volumes, and the series has only become more and more popular ever since it stopped being printed in English. So, my idea was that if the printing company that picks up Gintama back up does some good promotion beforehand, they could sell a lot of volumes. Or you get my general idea, right? Also, the manga is the 83rd best rated manga of all time. Alright, the rest of my predictions won't include already extremely well sold manga. Next is Ichi the Witch. I know, this has literally just 3 volumes, so why do I already have this here? Well, let's look at the facts. Ichi the Witch is extremely well rated, to the point that 3 weeks ago, from the time of writing this script, it overtook One Piece in the last 8 weeks' average ratings, which only a handful of series have ever done. It had an official English release announcement, with the 3rd volume having had released literally 2 days before the announcement, and the story writer of Ichi the Witch being Nishi Osamu, who you might recognize as the author behind Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, which is 403 chapters long at the time of writing this script, with an average rating of 8.34, and apparently it is nowhere close to ending. So it is clear that the author knows how to maintain quality in a story. So I'm pretty confidently saying that Ichi the Witch, in let's say a decade, will be another series with 100 million sales. And that's not even to mention what will happen when the anime will release. I have 2 more predictions for series from Weekly Shonen Jump. First is Sakamoto Days. In a previous video, which I made really recently, I said Sakamoto Days feels like it's about to enter its final arc with every arc. But realistically, it's probably here to stay for a while. With it already having 22 volumes and the 2nd season of the anime just starting, I think this could become another series with 100 million sales in a lot of years' time. And finally, the last series that could realistically reach the benchmark from the current lineup, Kagurabachi. I'm honestly almost shocked that I'm mentioning this, because at some point, as I've already said in other videos, I thought Kagurabachi was going to be axed, but now it's among the most popular series in Weekly Shonen Jump. It currently has 8 volumes but no anime in sight, though it will almost definitely have one in a few years, as, if you remember, there were so many leaks about bidding wars for the future Kagurabachi anime, and in the end, 2 studios will be adapting it, those being Cyber Agent and Shochiku. But this is interesting because Shochiku has only been the producer for anime, never the studio. But they have produced huge anime like A Silent Voice, Noragami, and the Violet Evergarden movie. And Cyber Agent is in a similar boat, but they've produced a lot less, though they have produced Oshinoko and Zombieland Saga Revenge. I'm getting really off topic. So yeah, the anime for Kagurabachi is all but guaranteed, and if they give it justice to the manga and maybe remove a line or two, it could explode in popularity once again and become even more popular than back when it was a meme. A little bonus, I think that Newest Exorcist could also be there because the Japanese audiences put it as the #1 series that they want to see adapted. There is potential, but it is way less than any of the series that I've given my predictions so far. But I just feel like I have to mention it. Alright, I have a few more to mention, so I'll name them just a bit quicker. Next up is Spy Family. It is already very popular, especially when the anime first came out. It became a worldwide hit, with it having 15 volumes right now and a season 3 in the works. Next is Blue Lock. When the first season of the anime released, it was huge, and when the second season of the anime released, it was a huge meme, and it highlighted how good the manga was even more than season 1 did, making the manga just so much more popular. With volume 35 soon to release, this is another manga that I think could hit 100 million sales. One Punch Man. With One's amazing story and Yusuke Murata's godly art, the manga is already incredible and incredibly popular. And on top of that, it already has 2 anime seasons which are both very popular, and season 3 finally releasing in just a few months. No, seriously. One Punch Man was my first anime and I really liked it. So I decided while waiting for season 3, I would watch a few other anime. And all this happened while waiting! With it having 33 volumes currently released, this is another manga that I believe could have 100 million sales easily. Let's do one last one. Frieren. The manga was already quite popular before the anime released, but the anime blew the fuck up, and the manga became extremely popular because of that. The manga is finally going to end its hiatus after just over half a year in apparently just under a week on July 23rd, and the second season of the anime is scheduled to release in January 2026 with just 14 volumes currently released. Viz, why must you release it in fucking February of next year? That's in just under 7 months. What the fuck? You already released volume 13 months ago. I think Frieren will go on for quite a bit and will almost definitely get to the 100 million sales milestone. Alright, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out the 5 most influential manga of each decade video, which I made actually just before this one. So, once again, I hope you enjoyed and hope to see you next time. See ya!